Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? Hey, this video is going to be about setting up a auxiliary sub-channel. Got a question from one of our members up on our Facebook group, X32 Rack users. And guys, just right off the bat, I'm not a real big fan of doing this. I'm going to show you why here in a second. But, we talk about YouTube and the platform. And when I tell you that I try and get all my videos, the audio up around a little bit higher than that 14 lofts, because that is what YouTube is going to accept. Anything louder, and they're going to squash it down. Okay, they're going to compress it. So I just wanted to show you what my output is here, so you can see it. I'm running on average a little bit over 14. My true peak is a negative 0.9. This is the AES specs, Audio Engineering Society. If you look over here to the left, you'll see this negative 23. That's the EBU. That's the European Broadcasting Union. And these guys kind of work hand in hand and, to help solve some of these audio issues and to put out recommendations and certain standards. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into X32 Edit, and I'll show you what we got going on. Okay, so here we go. I've got 8 tracks laid here. I've got some drum tracks and then a bass. And with the X32 rack, if you're up there watching these videos by Drew and he's using the X32 desk, this is the same procedure. Okay, over here, your panning mode, as you can see, we're going right into setup. Panning mode is left, right, plus mono. The MC depends on main, left, and right. Now, when you click this, and once we get everything set up, once you get your sub channel set, which we're going to be using the mono channel, it goes hand in hand. That's what it's actually designed for. Okay, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. Once you do this, that's pretty well set. And then you're simply going to come through and pick anything that you want to go to that mono or center channel. You're simply going to click right here. Okay? So, if you had a set of keys, you would want to have these up here as well. I'm just running the drum tracks. It's just easier for me to do right now. Okay? Again, we want this on the mono or center channel all the way across. If you look at our snare, you'll see it's on the left, main, and right, and then our hi-hats. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the kick. I want to show you something here. And, I talk about this all the time, and we're going to come over here to our gates. And first, I'm going to set this over on the left and right. Okay, that way we can hear it better. And then we'll go back over here to the channel strip. This is why it's important to go through and set these channel strips up properly, guys. Okay, I want you to listen to the bleed coming through this. Okay, you hear all that bleed. And all I did was simply gate that bleed out of it. Okay, now I've done this all the way across. So let's go ahead and take that kick and let's put it back on the center channel or the mono. And at this point, we're going to come down to all. Now, guys, you're going to find this left, right, and that mono center channel right here. And I can add anything I want to back into this level. Okay, I'm just doing this so I can get to it easy, because you're going to have to come to this, and this is where we're going to actually do our crossovers. Okay, so if we go to the left and right here and we come up to our EQ, you can see, and this is the same thing Drew was talking about. You come up here and you put this on LR24. This is your high pass. It allows everything past this frequency. which is going to be around 100 hertz. Now, for the member up there, his crossover for his subs is the 100 hertz. Okay? So when we come to the mono, this is the low. It's only going to, allow these low frequencies to come through, and it's not going to allow any of the higher frequencies to come through this. Okay? So let's go ahead and go back and listen, and let's just unmute this, and we'll see what we got. Now, I want you to hear the difference in that kick now. Okay? Now, I can sit here and run this up on the mono channel. Okay? Or the center channel. Remember, this is our bass sub. And the reason it's our bass is because we have it right here. The mono channel depends on the main left and right. So when I raise this volume on the main up and down, even though you won't see this fader move, okay, it will bring up that center channel with it. So let's go ahead and listen to that. Okay, now, why am I not a big fan of this? Well, guys, unless you're playing in these stadiums and you've got just, hanging arrays of your bass, powerful amps, things of this nature in your church, if you're doing this for your church, okay, or even a small room where you're practicing, you're going to overpower it. More than likely, you're going to overpower it, okay? Now, if you're going to stream, if you're going to go out to ATM Mini, okay, or you're going to come into another small mixer, well, the only thing you're going to get is your left and right channel. You're not going to get any of this bass channel, okay? That's the center channel. That's not what you're getting. When you come over here to your bosses, okay, you can link them together. You can do whatever you want to, but you're only getting that left and right channel. If you sit there and try and go into faders on demand, just like we are here, okay, as you can see all these highlight up, you can bring this in, but what you cannot do is you cannot put this middle channel on post fader, or I apologize, on pre fader. And I'm going to show you why, and you'll listen to it for yourself, okay, right here. So let's come back up here. Let's unmute everything. Actually, I just need to unmute what we've got on the center channel. Now, if we come up to routing, and this is the thing, this particular member, he doesn't have any more bosses, okay? He's running a X32 rack, which he only has 7 XLR outputs. He's using the rest of these for in-ear monitors, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come out of the aux out. This is aux out number 1, okay? Now, if I change this to pre-fader plus mute, okay, no problem. But now when we come over to the middle channel, this right here will not regulate that audio, okay? It will not. If you can see right here, we're coming out of aux 1. Watch what happens when I pull this fader down. Nothing. Okay, as you can see, when I move this fader, nothing happens. Therefore, the setup that we just used over here, where MC depends on the master, that has now been taken out of the equation. It no longer works. Okay, so let's go back up here and let's put this on post fader. And now watch what happens with this meter when I'm on the mono channel fader. You see? Now it just totally came right out of this audio. And that's the problem you're going to run into when you're streaming. That's the problem when you're going to run into. This is a lot more complicated way of setting this up. Okay? And I'm not going to go into that detail with it because, like I said, I don't really like doing it this way. So let's go ahead and go back to where we were. Now I'm going to come up here and take these, and I'm going to put those back in to the main stereo instead of the mono channel. Listen to the difference. Okay, can you hear the difference in that? I'm taking all these crossovers out. I'm putting these back on the main left and right stereo. And now when you come to your streaming or your recording or whatever else you want to do, it's going to be a much simpler way of doing it. Okay? And I'm not knocking you, man. If you want to set it up the other way, this is your gig. I am not there. I cannot hear the room. I'm simply giving my personal preference on why I do things the way that I do. Okay? So let's go ahead and listen to this again. And, you got to make your own choice on this, guys. Okay? And I'm going to let it play running out of your main left and right. And then I'm going to go through and put this back on to actually run a sub channel. And I apologize. Also, and this is something I just figured out today, when you have this on this main or the mono center, depends on main left and right, you cannot mute in between these two. Okay? You can mute the mains, but you can't mute the mono channel. Okay? See, now I can mute the mono channel. All right, guys. So, I hope this has helped. I hope it's given you some insight. You can go up here, you can tweak them. Remember, when you do these channel strips, when you're working on this stuff, come in here, set them properly, figure it out. Watch the videos. Okay, watch the videos. I can't tell you 45 years of experience how to come in here and operate these gates. Okay, all of this matters. Let me just see if I can bring this up here real fast, guys. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, okay? I'm going to put this back on the main. All of this. You hear that snare come back in? This is the dB range. This is what I'm taking out. the loudness of that background. Listen to it. Okay, right about there is where I'm not getting any noise now from that snare. Over here is next thing I'm going to work on, the attack. You always want it to attack very fast. The release, listen to what happens when I do this on the release. Now, if you notice, I'm setting these to where it barely cuts out the noise. In other words, it's coming on very fast, and I want it to release very fast. If this was a vocal, it would be a totally different setup. Okay? But let's listen to it because I still got a little work to do on my release. You can still hear that snare coming in. And there we go. Okay, now again, guys, I'm doing this with headphones on. If you're sitting there listening to this through a laptop speaker or your, Walmart speakers you got plugged into your computer, you're not going to hear these subtle differences. Okay, if you're going to be a sound engineer, you've got to learn how to do this stuff. And again, here is the difference with a properly set gate on a kick drum. Okay, now over here, if you look at this, and this is what it's showing you, this gain envelope, it's coming on automatically, and then it's just slowly coming down. If I release that too quickly, it's going to chop it. Okay, now here is the filter. The key source is going to be the self. That's what we're doing. We're doing this signal. Okay. You can see where the 2 is. They call this right here, the slope, a Q. Okay? Watch that Q move. You see it getting wider and wider. All of a sudden now, you start getting into a different type of filter. Okay? On these right here, I found that the Q, the number 2, works real good for this. The frequency. As you can see, I've got that set at 990.9. Watch it move. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to it, and I'm going to move that frequency. Now, if you've got your headphones on, you'll hear other stuff bleeding through because I've got it so far over to the right. Okay, so let's go ahead. And all I'm doing, guys, is sweeping. This is called sweeping. I can't tell you what these numbers are. Nobody can. You've got to come up here and you've got to play with these plugins. And right there, we are back to it. All right. So these are the things that you're going to have to pursue depending on how good you want your audio to sound. All right. Take care. God bless. And we are out of here.